This is your homework. Okay, we did all this, and we did this. In most class, we did this. In most class, we did this too. And this. And here, okay. Classify the following as rational, irrational. Explain why it's rational, irrational. Okay. Square root of 45. The square root of 45 is square root. If you have Google calculator, 45 equals 6.0. Okay. We only want to see how it continues forever. Because it continues forever, we don't know the ending. It is no solution because it cannot. 6.809, and we don't know the next number after that. It's irrational because we don't know the next number. We cannot make it into a fraction, so it's irrational. Same thing with 4 times pi. So if you use a calculator on 4 times pi, 4 times pi equals, see the number never, these numbers, the decimals never repeat or never end. We don't know the ending of it. So that's 12.56637061444. Some classes I tell them to round it to the nearest hundredth. So if we do that, if you round it to the nearest hundredth, it's 12.67 because that's a 6, 57. I mean, it's irrational because this number that never end or repeat cannot be made into a fraction. Irrational. Rational is a fraction. It's another word for fraction. Any number that can be made into a fraction. Okay? So the square root of 169, if you do that, use your calculator. Okay, clear it. Square root of 169, 13 is the answer. Classify the following as rational or irrational. Explain why it's rational. Same thing. Okay, first make these into a fraction if we haven't gone over this. This is the 100th place. Oh, these were all rational because they all can be made into fractions. You see, a fraction is rational. This can be made as 20 over 1. This can be 30 over 1. All rational because all these numbers can be made into fractions. Okay? So because how do you make it into a fraction? This is in the 100th place, so it's 25 over 100. Do not just put like this. You have to get rid of this decimal. It's 25 whole over 100 whole, which is a fraction in itself. This is in the 100th place, so it's 89 over 100. This is in 10th place. So it's 4 over 10. This is in the 100th place, so it's 22 over 100. This is in 10th place, so it's 9 over 10. The only problem with all of these is I didn't reduce. I need to reduce this by 5, 7 over 20. Reduce these by 2, 4 over 5. Reduce this by 25, 1 over 4. Okay, can't reduce 89 over 100. It is already reduced. Reduce these by 2. It's 2 over 5. By 2 also be 11 over 50. Okay, classify the following as rational, irrational. Explain why. Same thing. If you take the square root of 50. It's not a perfect square. It's not a perfect square. Some classes I'll teach it's not a perfect square because it's irrational. See how it's not a perfect square? The number goes on forever and non-repeating, right? So that's 7.071067811187. Some calculators shorten than that. Irrational cannot be made into a fraction. Square root of 64 is 8. And 8 can be made into a fraction, so it's rational. 8 over 1. Anything with pi in it is irrational because pi is unrepeating number. So you just put irrational and just put the word pi in there. Because if you use your calculator with pi, you'll have a very long number. I'll show you. Okay, so 4 times pi, right? 4 times pi. Get a number that not repeat and never end. So it's irrational. So anything with pi will get that result, okay? Anything with pi. Irrational because of pi. This can be made as a fraction as negative 24 over 1. So because it's a fraction, it's rational. Okay? So finish these. Now this can be made obviously into a fraction. This is a 10th place. 6 over 10 or reduced to 3 over 5. It's rational. Not irrational, so it's irrational. Not a perfect square. The answer here is 10 over 1, so it's a fraction, so it's rational. And that's a fraction, so there it's rational. Okay, if your class I didn't get to solve these, make sure you solve them. Okay, additive inverse plus a negative. Some class I have. Negative 2 plus 12x. Okay, minus 4x. It's 8x. That's 0 plus negative 2 is negative 2. Make this negative 2 equal to 0 because it's right next to the plus sign. Add 2. 0 plus 8x is 8x. Negative 2 plus 2 is 0. You always divide last. One solution. Okay, 34. Distribute first. You can't have 2 plus on one side. You have to combine like terms. Negative 12 plus 2 is negative 10. Oh, we have 1 plus, that's good, plus a negative 4d plus a negative 10. Oh, look, they're identical. Infinite solution, right? Minus 4d, negative 10. Okay, additive inverse, plus a negative, plus a negative. You can't have 2 pluses, so you have to combine like terms. 9h and 12 and the plus negative 12h is negative 4h. Oh, negative 3h, sorry. Plus negative 7 equals to 6. The plus sign is here, so you make one of them 0. This one is like that one. So you make that one equal to 0 plus 7 plus 7. One solution. This is infinite solution, okay? Because it's 13 over 3. Oh, I forgot to bring down this negative. Negative 13 equals to h. Okay, that's how you do that.